Hi, I'm Ben, and I'm the host of the Shut Up Brain podcast, and I want to go over 6 quick tips to help you conquer anxiety and stop racing thoughts. Most of these tips can be done within 5 or 10 minutes. Some of them take a little bit longer, maybe 20 minutes, but all of them should help anxiety, should help overthinking in some way. So let's go ahead and dive right into them. My very first tip is to clean your room, clean your house. Just start cleaning for about 10 minutes. You'll be super surprised at how much you can get done when you just start cleaning for 10 minutes. Usually I can get a lot of dishes done, I can clean my office, I can clean the living room, and you'll find that you are usually influenced by your environment. So if you are in a clean, comfortable environment, you're going to be much more relaxed, much more stress-free than if you were in a cluttered, messy environment. So one of the very first things to do to influence your internal world is to clean up your external world. Tip number 2 is a delicious one, and that is to eat 40 grams of dark chocolate. This is some dark chocolate that my wife has in the fridge, and she absolutely loves this stuff. I love dark chocolate as well, and there's a lot of science that says that dark chocolate really helps with stress and anxiety. In 2014, there was a scientific study done that when female students consumed 40 grams of dark chocolate, they had a significant lowering of their perceived stress. Other studies have found that dark chocolate or cocoa can significantly reduce stress and anxiety as well. One thing that is clear is that chocolate is high in tryptophan, which is a precursor to serotonin. And serotonin is one of those feel-good chemicals in the brain. When you have a lot of it, or when your brain is producing some of those neurotransmitters, then you start just feeling better about the world. This doesn't mean to go hog wild and eat all of the chocolate everywhere. 40 grams should do it. And then just sort of notice how you feel the next hour after you consume it. You might find that it's one of those things that really works for you and that it could be a mood booster for you. Number 3 is one that goes right to my heart, and that is start the thing you've been putting off. If you have a big, hairy goal that you've been putting off that's kind of weighing in the back of your mind, one of the best things you can do to reduce stress, reduce overthinking about that goal is to simply start. You don't have to finish it, just start, because I find that starting is usually the hardest thing. But if you can get started and make even just a little bit of progress, then you're gonna find that you feel accomplished and you feel better about yourself. And most of the time you'll find you can get a lot more done in a short period than you even thought you could. There's been so many projects that I thought would take me hours or even days, and I was done with them in like 20% of the time that I thought it would actually take. So just get started. My next tip is to go for a brisk 20-minute walk. It's been shown that higher intensity workouts such as HIIT cardio, high intensity interval training, or weightlifting can actually increase cortisol in the body. And cortisol is a stress hormone. But something like walking is much easier on the body, much easier on the mind, easier on your joints as well too. And it can allow you to feel more relaxed and reduce your overall anxiety. From the moment you begin exercising, your body starts producing this new protein called BDNF. That stands for brain neurotropic. That stands for brain-derived neurotropic factor. I'm never gonna be able to say this. That stands neurotrophic. That stands for brain-derived neurotrophic factor. What BDNF does in the brain is actually helps to repair memory neurons, which sort of acts like a reset switch for your brain. And this is why it's not a coincidence that after you go for a walk, you feel a little bit more clear-headed, you feel a little bit more on point, and that is because your brain has been resting and repairing while you're going for that walk. Besides all of that, your body also releases endorphins, which makes you feel good, which also reduces stress. So walking is really one of the primary things that I do to reduce stress. And if you haven't tried it yet, just go for a brisk 20-minute walk. You'll be surprised at how different you feel at the end of it. Number 5 is to take a 20-minute tea nap. And this is where you drink some tea before you take a nap, and then you nap for about 20 minutes. And what this does is when you drink the tea with a little bit of caffeine, that could because there's caffeine within the tea, By the time you are done with your nap, the caffeine has kicked in, and so you're gonna feel a lot more refreshed and energized. And I know not everyone is a great napper, and so if you just lie there for 20 minutes and you don't end up falling asleep, that is okay. By the end of that 20-minute period, you're gonna find that you're feeling a lot more refreshed, energized, and just feeling better in general. Just kind of a little pick-me-up. And so I love these tea naps. So just make yourself a pot of tea and then take a quick little rest. Lastly is a little bit of escapism, and this is particularly good if your brain is just constantly going crazy with overthinking thoughts. And one way to counteract that is to have other thoughts that you're listening to. So listening to podcasts and audiobooks, especially if they are podcasts or audiobooks that are helpful to you in some way or inspiring in some way. You don't necessarily want to listen to a horror novel or anything like that that will just stress you out even more. Listen to something inspiring instead. Shameless plug for my podcast, Shut Up Brain. I talk about all sorts of interesting topics that have to deal with anxiety, overthinking, and productivity. So if you're into videos like this, you'll probably like my podcast, Shut Up Brain, which you can find on Spotify, iTunes, things like that. But any sort of inspiring, motivational, or helpful audio books or podcasts can really help you disengage from that voice in your brain and just kind of take a break. Now, this shouldn't be your only method for dealing with stress or overthinking, because like I said, it is a little bit of escapism, but sometimes it's okay to escape from life for just a little bit. Get that a little bit of reprieve, a little bit of vacation, and then you can attack it again from another angle. So now that you've heard my 6 bite-sized tips, I want to hear at least 1 or 2 of yours. So in the comments down below, what is a bite-sized tip that you have that you are using in your life to help with anxiety, with stress, with productivity, something like that? I love learning from other people in the comment section. And if you have a friend or family member you think they would like this video, I would love it if you shared it with them. And of course, like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. All right, action taker, I will see you next time.